Good evening and happy Sunday. See, it's not even a good morning for once. I love it. You know what? We keep trying to like squeeze it in and make it happen on a why? Why make it happen on a Sunday? It could be a Sunday review on a Thursday.
This will be the first week we actually get to pick who we think will win the Thursday night game.
Yes. Yes.
I was thinking about that driving here. I was like, oh, yeah, that's in an hour. We get to actually make a pick on it.
And we'll actually have a real dialogue about the Thursday night football game. Like,
rather than it was fun to watch.
Yeah. But that's not the theme of the day. The theme of the day are old quarterbacks becoming anew. We're opening new chapters. I mean, I've been reluctant. We have tried our best to avoid as much Browns talk as possible, but they're actually a headliner today. So that being said, we're not even going to open that coffin yet. Let's start with some hope. Old quarterbacks becoming anew. Tua is back.
Will you wear a Guardian cap?
Nope.
Why?
Personal choice.
What did your family say about you coming back, and how deep was that discussion?
Nobody, no one's sort of advice had affected anything.
Hibbity.
I thought in terms of returning. So no one had an effect
I'm sorry.
on it. Had some conversations with my wife, but that was...
At least you talked to someone.
Dude, he's like getting through this thing like Simple Jack, like you mama Mike made me happy.
That was it.
I respect the hell out of him, though. Like I like, again, I'm up for a player could choose if they want to wear the helmet or not. I mean, Owusu Koromoa does.
Let's finish I want to finish the clip because there is a conversation we had about the Guardian cap.
Your health and making sure that you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to those that are worried that you might get hurt again and this is something that's going to continue?
I appreciate your concern. I really do. I love this game, and I love it to the death of me.
Literally.
I love. Very good response. You know, like he didn't really want to dwell on it. I actually didn't know that this year was the first year they were doing that with the helmets. I did.
Yeah.
I remember week one. I was like, "What is that on their head?" And then I'm all for players doing what they feel is safest for them. Gotta respect him though for just being like right away. No, why? Don't wanna.
Right.
Like it's just so like let him play football.
I love football to the death of me, and that's what it's literally going to become, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't care. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I can't say nothing.
This game has given me generational wealth. Like I'm not just gonna, and no one would blame them if he walked away. No one was gonna sit here and be like, I can't believe he retired. There was a college quarterback today that he got a concussion earlier in the month, and he's retiring from football. Like his doctors recommended, like you should probably stop playing. He's like 20-year-old kid, you know. So like, I'm all for player safety, all that. I haven't seen him in college. Have you seen that helmet in college?
No, I haven't. But here's what's interesting. There's a lot of players opting out of the Guardian cap. Well, 99% of them are, but the majority, there's a huge fraction of them that the reason they're refraining is there is a company now that you could get a prescription helmet because the NFL and Rydell are super tight with their helmets, who makes them. And you could get a prescription helmet where they do a 3D scan of your head and then 3D print this like special foam.
Cool.
So it's not anything beyond like it's like Loctite.
Yeah.
So there's no shake. It's perfectly fit to your head. And a lot of the players like, I don't need a Guardian cap. I need that helmet. And why does the NFL and Rydell make it so hard for us to get equipment that could be potentially safer? It's like, well, why doesn't Rydell has all the equipment? They have the system. Why don't they take on this art? It's because this is a patented technique that Rydell doesn't have.
Yeah, no, it's like kudos to the NFL to giving players the option to like go for the
No. This is being forced upon them by a medical doctor. They tried barring it because they have a contract with Rydell, and it's like, take a hint, guys. Read The Room, like the Will Smith movie. Like, just not everything. You don't need every little penny. You've got the big fish.
So what exactly is a Guardian cap? Like, what is it?
It's like a foam silk sock that slides over the outside of the helmet, and it's got padding in it. So again, part of the argument is what makes a helmet hurt more is the hard shell is like there's no cushion, there's no catch. It just clack.
Yeah.
It's just and It's
You
to
literally hear
soften
it.
the blow.
You know, you literally hear it. You can immediately tell when it's a helmet to helmet, like that crack. It's like a wood bat. It's like
Well,
hitting a homer on a wood bat. It's like, yeah, I can't mistake that sound.
So here, let's just walk. Let me walk a thought out with you.
Sure.
You go, why don't we walk this back? If the helmet's the problem, then why don't we just because look at rugby. Rugby has no helmets. So why don't we get to a place where we're just wearing kind of like sock hats? Okay, well then that turned into leather hats, which turned into helmets. So the natural progression leads us to here,
Mhm.
but then there's an argument that the hard shell is what makes it unsafe. So do we go? Maybe we do need to go back to just leather hats or heavier cushioned caps
I feel like I see what you're saying.
because
and
then you can't hit as hard.
The logic isn't, but we know the game. People are still going to hit
Mm.
hard, and that's like the
Ask
unfortunate truth.
Tua.
Yeah, and you know, it's like I do agree that you're not going to go past what the helmet is unless they're able to get that patented Rydell technology, right? Put in the helmet. So it's like, how far back are you going to walk it back? Maybe the Guardian cap is in the right direction, but it is like, well, at what point are they going to mandate the athletes to wear them? You know, like right there, it's like, are you going to wear the Guardian cap? Nope. Why? Don't want to. Like, it's just, you know, like I get the choice, and it's like, sure, all these guys get the choice, but it's like, at what point is the NFL going to step in and be like, we can't get that patented technology? Everyone has to wear a Guardian cap now.
Right. Or open up that contract with Rydell, make a little less money, and let them contract with other.
Just put Taylor
helmets as
Swift on
well.
this screen, just a couple more minutes a game. People love that. People love that. Saves
Saves
their
lives.
money.
Saves
Say-
lives.
Taylor Swift saves lives.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Honestly, when you started that conversation, we're like, let's reel it back. The helmets are the problem. Maybe we should just take the guns away too. It's like, okay. Bringing another show into this show.
Yeah. So, Doug, I got to ask, what was your first pick of the Gentlemen's Club fantasy league?
My first pick. I actually don't remember because I
All right,
drafted,
you're
like,
not worth it. You're not worth it. If you can't remember what your first
Dude, you
pick
live and
was,
die by your first pick. Mine's Christian McCaffrey on the
Yeah,
IR.
right.
But I
My-
wasn't like number one. I was like 9.
Yeah,
so.
neither was Will.
No,
I was number one.
I was number 4. Oh yeah, he dropped.
So,
Oh, I took Etienne, I think, and he's done nothing.
Yeah,
I think it's
yeah,
funny
yeah.
looking at, and mine was
At least he's
Tyreek
healthy.
Hill.
At least he's healthy.
Still got a questionable.
Mine's healthy too. But,
Yeah.
like, we're getting there. So all of us, none of us have the best player on our roster is not our first pick. All of
Right.
us, our first pick has kind of fallen by the wayside, may not even be playing.
My best guy is your guy.
Well, bringing that up, it's funny. My first pick being Tyreek Hill, I have zero confidence in this dud,
Oh, I
but
know what
his
clip you're
magic
putting up.
man's back, and now
I know what
he's
clip
so
this is
full
gonna
of
be.
hubris. He's got nothing but
Baby.
confidence.
Strike up the fucking band. We're back, baby. Start me this week, baby. Let's go.
I don't think I want to though.
I thought of you the instant I saw that clip, and I almost sent it to you too, being like, "Hey, it's your favorite guy. It's your liability."
It's my number one, and I don't want to.
Dude, you're about to go from 1-5 or whatever you are, 1-6. Who knows? Who cares at this point? All the way to
just like the Browns.
2-11.
Yeah. But there are some redeeming aspects to the league and some of the comings and goings of last week. This was a really cool clip from Saquon Barkley. I don't know if you saw this.
13 yards away from your career high. I would love for you to get that, but that's up to you. I just don't want. I'm going to take out all the starters if they don't score.
You good? Let them eat.
You sure?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I promise.
I'll listen to me. I want you to do it if you want to do it.
So I'd rather see the young boys eat.
I
Yeah.
appreciate the coach. I appreciate the coach being like,
Right.
"Hey, give him the option." And I don't blame Saquon. Are you kidding me? Kidding me? Last thing I want to do is go out there thinking I'm going to break this record, and all of a sudden I take a wrong hit. There goes my knee. I'm out 2 weeks.
Well, also, I hate to be the guy, but that felt like a real Vince McMahon moment. They had like 3 different camera angles. The dude's mic'd up. Nah, coach, let him eat. Let him eat. Dog.
and no one
That's a good Insta reel right there.
and nobody knows what Mason Rudolph said still.
Yeah. Oh, we do. Lighten the low for
You know what I
smiles.
mean? Like you said, like Vince McMahon, 3 camera angles, is like nobody knows. what
I
guy
love
said.
that it had nothing to do with what we were told. Like
No,
180,
no.
180 dropping soap. It was a ditty. Ask DJ Khaled.
All right, we're not going there.
No, we're not. We're not. So moving on. Somebody got to avoid the funeral of the Browns, and he's doing snow angel dances in Buffalo. Check out Tyreek's first touchdown as a Buffalo Bill. Amari's first touchdown as a Buffalo Bill. So if you look here, Amari it seems to look to the rookie wide receiver on his outside, because again, he's just learning the playbook. It's
He showed up like in the middle of the week.
Yes. And again, he's an all-star. So of course he's got to play.
I thought he sucked. I thought he dropped everything. What happened to that?
His money pay is clearly still considered
move or
all-star.
rust, and he moved.
Listen, it was one game. Like, I went too far. So he makes his look, just kind of runs his flag route, bop.
Quick skinny post right over the middle.
Bingo.
Good throw by Josh.
Oh, great.
Lead him
throw.
in the front. Yeah. You know what? Hey, you know what? Good for Amari. I got nothing against the guy.
Well, so, hey, listen.
Shout out to him. You got out. Everyone, I'm glad he didn't stay for last week, because there was a lot of discussion after the game. I don't know what it was about, but there was a lot of discussion about the game.
We can review it. I have it all queued up. Now, that being said, I have a hunch that unlike the rest of the clowns that we could watch videos of, I do believe Amari doesn't think Cleveland fans are as wrong and off base as Jameis and Miles do. Speaking of Jameis and Miles, the two good boys, let's check it out.
Who's going first?
The way I was raised, I was taught to love no matter the circumstances, especially for people who do right by you. I'm grateful that I had a chance to serve Deshaun, but I am very upset with the reaction to a man that has had the world against him for the past 4 years.
And why is that?
I wouldn't even
Because
say
he's such a good guy?
I mean, it's just
His smile's just too big.
there's just something. There's so much to just
Doug.
dissect about like the 3-4 sentences that he just said right there. Like, for instance, I served Deshaun. That's a weird way of wording it. That's just, he's
Especially
like,
of all
all he had to
people.
say was like, "Hey man, he was my teammate."
It's like
Shut up."
serving Diddy.
Yeah.
Literally. Like, what are you saying?
Well, it's like one of those things. First off, famous anus. Like, why are you lecturing me? Like, why? Come on, man. Like,
And again, so let's get to,
just go to the next guy. Go to the next. I already know what he said. I've watched it way too many times,
No
but
one deserves that.
Yes, he does.
I've seen him work his ass off to, get back here, in here, and put a smile on his face, and
What was he
try to put
smiling
everything
about?
that's,
Happy ending.
outside the facility behind him. Death threats. People come to his house. People, going after his family. No, like I said, no one deserves that. And I hate using the word deserves.
You know what's a good, easy way to escape that? Frequently vacationing to Greece every other week.
my question is, off that, I've never heard. Have people gone to Deshaun's house?
Yeah,
I was
who's
thinking
hanging
You know
out?
what? I'm just saying. Like, I feel like I would have heard that.
Yeah, you would
Right?
think.
It's not like he's been here a few months, right? It's like this is his third season. Here.
Every creep in the world will not waste a minute to play the martyr and the victim.
I mean,
this guy's already playing the victim. If he had these threats and issues, we would have heard about
I'm just saying, like, it's like I disagree with fundamentally just about everything he said right
we
there.
do have to get to the big point. He says,
Oh, continue.
I'm usually, pretty consistent saying earned. He hadn't earned it, and he doesn't deserve it. Man does pretty much everything right. He's been a model citizen through college and most of the pros. He plays the game as hard
Model
as anyone I've
citizen.
seen. Puts everything on the line, willing to throw his body out there, and he plays the game at 100 miles.
we
per
got to go
hour.
back because we just missed
Model
it.
citizen through college and most of the pros. He plays the game.
Doug
as
talked
hard.
right there. through most of the pros.
I always love it when they do these press conferences when something of like this magnitude happens. Like I remember when Miles had the Mason Rudolph incident and became very divisive in Cleveland because they put the camera in Baker's face immediately after the game. And Baker was very like, we can't be doing that on a football field. Something like, kind of common knowledge, like regardless what's said, like you used literally his helmet as a weapon to bash him on the head. It's a hard thing to kind of like put a mic in someone's phone, let alone like a rookie, and be like, hey man, what'd you think of that? And it's like, read the room, man. Like again, Chubb talked like I think yesterday, and you might even have that one clued up. And he just like articulated it very well. He's just like, listen, I understand the fans' frustrations. You know, we're 1-6. There's a lot of emotions going high, you know, and at the end of the day, like we have a standard at our job that we have to perform at, and with this record, we're not doing it.
Class as always,
you know,
dude.
I like paraphrased and like summarized it for him, but like that was like the gist of it. Like he never once like came at the fans.
That's the perfect way of doing it.
And I'm just more shocked that literally every player outside of Chubb has come out and made the fans vindictive in this situation.
Yeah.
It's not like half of them were kind of saying that. Only like one or two of them really kind of said, it's like, no. I only heard like, it was like, oh, I'm the problem. We are the problem. He's perfect. He's our perfect baby boy. Baby, perfect trust fund baby. Like I'm still
Dude,
dumbfounded.
I mean,
it's hard to articulate.
Of the people of the interweb that are talking football and talking about this conversation, few of them were actually there like us.
Yeah,
And
honestly.
So what's crazy is we got to experience the absolute overwhelming disdain for this pig of a human before the game even snapped the ball, right? So coming out of the tunnel,
Dude.
every player comes out. There's a mild cheer, if anything, but they all are locked it up, helmet on, strapped up, ready to go. And there's an energy to it. The second he comes out, the entire stadium boos. He doesn't even have his helmet on. He has a towel, like he's hiding, and he's covering himself with this little
it's
like,
kinda
baby
weird.
trot, walking out as the whole place booed him. And then there's a promo video for the comeback and release of Batman. Here comes Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
And you would have thought God himself was coming out of that tunnel, the way the place just erupted. So it's not that these people don't have love in their heart. And the problem is you've stepped on the throat of their compassion for honestly the last 2 to 3 years. And this last year, so here's the deal. Will and I have had plenty of conversations about the pig. And we had a problem with throwing away a potential rookie that we picked up that was going to possibly be a new franchise quarterback, Baker. We spit in his face and we go for the pig. And you and I are being told by everyone around us that no, you're missing it. You weren't paying attention. You weren't paying attention when he was on Texas. He was actually really, really good. Trust me. And I was like, I didn't see any of that. I don't remember any of that. No, just trust me. He was really, really good. And even though he didn't play for the last 2 years, I promise he's going to come back. And in fact, just like Afro Man, he's been working every day those last 2 years. So he's going to come back even better.
Yeah,
and then we live a year where he's out. He hurts. Second year, he's out. He hurts. This year, the fact that we're talking dialogue of what to expect all summer, and you look at me and you go, we know he's going to be out. The question is for how many games?
Yeah.
And here we are. It took 7 games. He's now out for the rest of his life. And when the place booed, or that's the thing. I don't like the media going, they all booed. They didn't boo when he went down.
No.
In fact, myself specifically included, I wish I could go back and cheer harder.
Yeah.
If I could cheer louder, I would.
And funny enough, part of the booze too, like the way I saw him go down, I was like, something was off with that. Because again,
because it wasn't a big hit.
There was no hit. It was a non-contact injury.
Well,
But it was like when he went down, he dropped the ball. The booing really for me came from like he fumbled and like they recovered. Right? I don't think they recovered. But like he fumbled and he didn't like move anywhere. That's really where I think the booing came from.
Right. Because
the cheering came from when we
came
realized
from me, baby.
And it's just, I don't particularly care that he got hurt. It really doesn't affect me. I've already seen how the season was going. It was going to go one of two ways with him. He was going to play out his career here, or his contract, excuse me, whether we decided to cut him at some point or not, or he gets hurt. Because week in, week out, from the start of the year, this organization has refused to bench him for whatever reason. Week after week, all the fans are saying, what is going on here? And they have reiterated, hey, we're sticking with Deshaun. So, okay, you're going to give us two options here. He's going to play out, and we're going to move on from him, and we're not going to do well. Already have accepted that. Or he's going to get hurt. This almost feels like a mercy killing for him.
Yeah.
You're going to be paid
Right.
close to $145 million over the next 2 years, and you don't have to play. You don't have to go out this Sunday and get booed
Right.
just by walking out the tunnel.
Well, and let's be real. This was what you were seeing in front of you was social justice. You
Yes.
had a guy that escaped all of his accountability because he had hundreds of millions of dollars to blow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 accusations and
Counting.
well, no, 6, 7, 8 of them accusations and then plea agreements.
Mhm.
That would be insane. The fact that it amounts to 20 and counting,
Right.
like
Right.
at what number do you go, yeah, you're convicted in the court of public opinion, you're convicted. So now you get to still think you're the hot shit. You're on an NFL team. You're walking to the stadium. You're not in jail where you belong. You get to go on vacations wherever you want. When you get hurt, you get to go to the Los Angeles suite at the same football game instead of sitting at the sidelines. You're so in love with yourself. And the pompous billionaire who's sick to his stomach that he has to give you hundreds of millions of dollars was going to lock you into hell for every day he had you. I want you on a public stage looking like a total fool.
Yeah.
And now what do we have? I love your point. This was a mercy killing.
It
You got
was,
to
yeah.
escape all of that
Yeah.
and just focus on your health, focus on your rehab. And at the end of the line is all of the vacations you've been wishing you could go on.
As bad of an injury as an Achilles tear is for him, it's like no one is expecting you to come back and you're still getting paid. Like at the end of the day. But I do
Hundreds of millions.
believe that there is a football god. And I had this realization like a day or so after the game. And I was thinking, again, we got accosted because we're gremlins because we cheered for his downfall. And
I just cheered for him to never put on a Browns uniform again. That was it. I wasn't cheering for his death. I just never wanted to see him on that field again.
So it's like the day that Nick Chubb comes back is the day that his career ended. And it was a totally different
Wow.
but it was a totally different and even further, it was a totally different reaction as to when Chubb got hurt. When Chubb got hurt, it was like from the internet to the field it happened on, it was like everyone got quiet, praying that he was okay and it wasn't as bad as they thought. And guess where Chubb got injured? It was in
right?
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
The Pittsburgh Steelers fans were like, I cannot feel more horrible for him.
Boom.
Like genuine sympathy and empathy from our rivals. We're like, of everyone that got hurt, it sucks that it's him. Like
Right.
a totally different reaction than like how we reacted to Deshaun's. So I found it like, wow, the irony. The day that Chubb finally comes back from that gruesome injury where people weren't sure if he really would, to now Deshaun's, and they were the total different reactions.
Right.
That's I believe the
because-
football gods were like, we're giving you back an angel and we're taking away the devil. We're taking his ass out. We're coming for you, man.
And the best part is you're seeing, like, I love that point because this seemed to be objective intervention. This
Yeah,
constant
yeah.
painting that like Cleveland is lacking morality. Here's the thing. That guy was never Cleveland.
No.
He didn't embody us. He didn't accept us. He wanted nothing to do with us. We were his paycheck. Miles gets drafted. He's immediately got dog.
There's a mural of him at some point in the city. I know.
Why is that?
Well,
Because
yeah.
again, he's
embraced
proactive
us.
in the city. Not even that. He's not. It's productivity in the product is
Oh, I
one
see. Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But Miles comes to Cleveland and he does a dog park initiative. He comes to Cleveland and he's involved at the food banks.
Right.
Nick Chubb is involved in the community. Even the Browns organization makes these guys do those sorts of things. I haven't seen that of
No.
Deshaun at all.
No.
And so again, when I see him on the field, it isn't even just low productivity. It feels to me, and it's not subjective because it feels the same way to everyone else around me. The position is you don't want to be out there and you sure as shit don't want to be here.
No.
So we don't want you here. So when I see the thing that's going to finally, man, the fact that a second string dope, like literally a coconut, is going to be throwing our ball this weekend, and I actually feel like we have a chance more than we ever have, and we don't have a chance. We're going against the best team.
Well, I don't think anybody's expecting us to beat Baltimore.
No.
But it's at least
There was
with
no
Jameis-
hope
At least
before.
with Jameis, and I don't think Jameis is going to do particularly well. I didn't
No.
even really think that when he showed up. I thought he'd do. I think he's going to do okay. He's going to do okay.
He'll be serviceable.
He's serviceable. There's going to be zero Flacco magic. You can't replicate that. Like,
No.
truthfully, I also had that thought too when I was thinking, like, oh, our backup's in. It's Jameis. Yeah, this is what
Flacco is just pure gold. He came in here and just turned it on, man.
But again,
And
it's
that's
like-
hard to capture again.
It's like going on that. It's like, how many backup quarterbacks do you hear end up getting the start and go on just like a run? Because you know they're not going to be full-time starter unless it's a Tom Brady situation where it's like, oh, we are expecting this guy to eventually start. It's like Flacco, Jameis, and literally the only other person I could think of was Nick Foles. And he didn't start till like 2 weeks before the playoffs and then just happened to win the Super Bowl. What did he do after that? Not really much of anything, but it's like, you don't know if you're going to hit that magic again. I doubt we do that with Jameis, but at least there's like it feels like there's an atmosphere with
There's a
him to
new
be like,
atmosphere, yeah.
I'm not watching because I'm so over this shit, but it's Jameis has a personality, for better or worse, whether you like it or don't. Literally, Deshaun running on the field, covering his head. I was just like, dude, you're supposed to be the energy. You're supposed to be the leader. I was supposed to see you run onto the field and be like, that's our guy.
Right.
And instead, I'm like, oh, go away.
But again, it's just like, you're going to get down on the fans, and I want to look at the NFL and be like, have some pride in yourself. Like, are you trying to get better? Because right now you're the population of American trash. And I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
When Will and I walk to the stadium and Will looks at me and he goes, this is the people of Walmart, and this is definitely not the crowd that you would see at a Indians game. And it's like, just the week before, we're dealing with the baseball fans, and everybody's getting, cleaned up. Listen, everybody's comfortable. Nobody's dressed up, but
Yeah.
people are cleaned up for a night out at the ballpark. And when you go to a football game on Sunday morning, we just scrape the grime out of the toilet bowl, and it's coming to cheer and get sloshed.
Yeah.
And why is that?
Yeah,
because
honestly.
because who are their heroes? Their heroes are murderers in white suits. They're wife beaters and lady beaters. And so again, when we look at a guy like this and you've shoved him down our throat, and guess what? He's a pig, and we would have swallowed the pill, but he couldn't even produce. The fact that for the last 3 years, like me and my dad, you'll have a conversation. It's like, even if the Browns were to pick up, Deshaun is a football god, and we make it all the way to the Super Bowl, my dad's looking at me like, it's I don't even want it. It's not even a feel worth it. We sold out to a pig for what?
That was always my thing. Like, again, everybody knows a Baker guy, but that's always why, like, I loved Baker, because he felt so Cleveland.
Right.
It's like, if he were to take us here, it feels so we're on that national stage going for it all, and it feels like we're actually there.
Right.
When
He
Deshaun showed
changed
up, it
our
felt like
atmosphere.
I just couldn't get the identity. I'm like, what is the identity of this team other than I don't really like this guy? The least you could do is be a good quarterback.
I mean, I look at the press conferences that are coming to his defense, and you look at someone like Jameis, and it's like, dude, you have 2 sexual assault problems in your
Right,
background. So I guess I'm still willing to swallow the pill and not boo at your injury at like 2, but maybe multiply that by 10 and I'm going to be done with you.
Well,
Is
it's
it 2 more? Is it 4 more? But then even more so, look at Miles. You're going to say mostly a clean record, acknowledging that there's this major asterisk, and it's the most recent part of his career. And that's going to be on balance, taking it full circle to like the Amari Cooper thing. So where Amari is being grilled by the press because, hey, you're out here asking rookies for help, and they ask the rookie. Here's somebody that's been in the league a year and is able to take this type of inquiry that could cause a stir in the locker room. He's able to take it like a professional.
What to do on the touchdown? On his touchdown?
Nah, man. Cause he know the plays. He know the plays. I just help him confirm it. That's all.
Yeah.
It looked like there was some kind of communication between you two, though, before the snap.
That's the name of the game. You never can get fined for over communicating. Make sure everybody doing what they need to do.
It's just like I listen to him talk right there. I'm like, he's such a football guy.
Yes.
Like, you know, like it's like that's a guy. He's like, I'm not gonna throw anyone under the bus. We're all just playing football
But
here.
it goes to show, dude, it's the locker room.
Yeah.
Your productivity on the field is one thing, and all of that hard work can be for naught if your locker room is a toxic pit, which has been the consistent theme
Well,
of the
again,
Cleveland Browns.
It's Thursday night, and we're still talking about the Browns versus the Browns fans.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? It's like
Wow.
That's what's going on
for a team that goes winless in a season. You should be happy you still have those.
Well, it's like what's going on in that locker room. It's like I'm sure they're talking shit about us. You know, like I'm in their head rent free. But it's just so, you know, like instead of Mari shows up, he's like, is it the skinny post or the corner? Is it skinny post? Gotcha. Touchdown. Oh, looks so fun.
Yeah.
Looks so fun. Not over here.
Could be us.
Not over here. Check down specials. I guess that's the one thing I'm looking forward to, Jameis, is like he's just like, I don't give a shit to throw it 40 yards and be like, it's up there.
Dude, that was another thing.
It's up there.
It was, I don't know if he couldn't do it or if he was just afraid or didn't have the confidence in himself.
I think it's
but
a bit of a
Deshaun
mix.
literally couldn't throw beyond 40 yards.
I think it's a mix of a few things. I think it's a mix mainly of a lack of confidence, and two, he knows, and I think he knew the eggshells he was already walking on. He's like, if I go out there, and I mean Baker had games like that here too, where I throw 3 picks, I'm gonna hear about it, and I'm gonna hear about it really bad. And it's like, why? We're paying you so much money. And again, guys are gonna have off games, but it's like I'm not really producing offensively, and the last thing I want to do is start throwing the ball downfield and it's interceptions.
Right.
It was a multifaceted thing. And it's like that guy could clearly throw the ball 40, 50 yards. It was, if I start screwing up, they are going to come at me so hard. They went after Baker, and he was a rookie. Like he's on the I haven't been paid shit contract.
Right.
You know, I'm way overqualified for this. Like,
And everybody can see it.
yeah, everybody could see it. I could see it. You don't think he knew? He got like his second year. He's like, man, this seemed a lot quicker 2 years ago. And it's like, and again, it's like, yeah, you did. Like you look
Your
more
muscles
efficient.
were a lot looser.
Like,
then.
here's the thing, like his years in Houston, he didn't do bad, but it was like, again, and Tom Brady ruined the NFL for people when he got traded and immediately won a Super Bowl. Because then Matt Stafford followed it up, and it's like, guys, it's never this easy. Like it's usually not this easy. It's surprising it worked out for them. Look at how many Aaron Rodgers. Dude, you should have went to Jeopardy because you're not getting better on the Jets. That's how difficult it is. That's what was so surprising about it. And that's why when Browns fans looked at me when we did this move and they're like, dude, we're in the Super Bowl window and that's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I'm like, can we just win the division? We haven't done that in our life. Let's start small.
That's
It's
a
like
great
I saw a
point.
quote. It's college, but they're like Ryan Day has struggled against Michigan. And it's because I guess there was a report coming out that he always talks about making the playoffs and winning the national championship. Again, a great goal. There's nothing wrong with that. Urban Meyer never lost to Michigan. He never even talked about the playoff seeding. It was every week, got to beat that team up north. Like that's step one. And then you go to step 2, and then you go to step 3. And for me as the Browns fan, I was like, I just want, like, my goal for Deshaun, I was like, if he could just win the division in a playoff game within his 5 years here, that's a step in the right direction.
Step one. That's
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's always Super Bowl, Super Browns. And it's like, I want to win the division.
Yeah.
Win the division. And then it's like, hey, we're the king of the North. That's where we're at. That's how it's like, that's how I view the Indians. It's like the Indians have owned the AL Central for most of the last decade. It runs through us. Then you got to get to that next level. But it's like, hey, Got to do this first. No point talking about World Series if we're finishing third in the division.
I love that point. And speaking of kings of the division, the one that is going to wallop on us this weekend. Last week, back to the football review. Last week, the Buccaneers took on the Ravens. That's a top tier matchup. It was a great
turned out
watch.
to be a good game.
It turned out to be a great
still be a good
game.
game.
Raven. It was a high scoring game. Ravens look great. Here's a hilarious
Boy, did
clip
they.
from the
They
game.
look good.
It goes to speak about how good the Ravens are when these are the Buccaneers fans.
I'm so happy I just reported that.
Dude
Hold
is
on.
shirtless.
And then he turns around. Such a backhanded compliment. They're the best. Fuck you for that.
And you know what? It's like I saw a tweet and it summed it up perfectly. They're like, Tampa Bay is a good team. Baltimore is a great team. And I was like, yeah, that's what you saw. Like, truthfully, it's like I said, like, I went with like who I felt was the better quarterback. But it's like after I said that, I was like, I still think Baltimore is a better team. Like, they are I think Baltimore is the team to beat right now. Personally, I understand the Chiefs haven't lost, but Baltimore.
And didn't the Chiefs beat the Ravens already?
Yeah, like week 2.
Right.
Like week 2. And it was like a close.
It was a good game.
Oh, it was that game where half his foot was out of bounds at the end of the game. It was that game. So that was like week 1 or week 2. I think it was week 1. And
it was week 1. Yeah.
yeah. And it's like, again, Baltimore, like, but it's like you look at like they had like over 500 yards of offense. You're not winning most games like that. I could think of like one guy who had like a 500-yard game and lost, and it was Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. Threw for like the most yards in the Super Bowl, lost.
Yeah.
Like, you're probably not. If you did that every Super Bowl, you'd probably be close to 9-0. Somehow lost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like like I was watching that game and it sucked too because it's like Mike Evans is out. Chris Godwin's injury looked rough.
Oh,
look, so rough. I felt like Baker's reaction was like, again, we're not on the field. Just seeing his body language, I was like, oh, he's done. Like, he's done. That wasn't like shit. Yeah, just bring it out. It's like, oh, your leg is that way. Like, not okay. And funny enough, I wish you had the clip. Godwin's, you talk about a guy who's been there, done that, seen it all, consummate professional, understands the game. Like, again, guys get hurt in this game. Like, it's football. It's their job. Like, you know, that comes with the territory. He literally was getting put on the cart. His legs, you know, they're like, don't touch it, let it go. You know, no big emotion over him. You know, like a few players went up to him, you know, gave him their thoughts and prayers and shit like that. And he like just, you could see his mouth literally look at the kid who's now filling his role. He's a rookie. Jalen, I think is Milrow. I think that's his name. And he just says back to work, like to the rookie. I'm like, that's a guy who gets it. That's a guy who is confident already that I will come back from this minor misstep in my journey in this sport. But like, hey, back to work. For me, for you guys, keep it going. And I was like, that's a leader, man. That right there, I was like, that dude, he was having one of the best years of his career. Only like 6-7 weeks in. I was like, impressive.
You know, another thing was that my dad brought up to me last night, not to take us back to that, but just because of that team aspect you were bringing up.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, you think you're going to find Deshaun on the sidelines for a single game?
No.
For the rest of the season?
No.
Nick Chubb had his leg inside
cast.
out. Like literally it went inside out. And he was on our sidelines. Yeah. He was a staple to that team. It goes to show how far you were from being a part of our team when, like, again, the last time you were injured, you were in a suite while we were playing. I can assure you, you'll never be on the sideline. And yet, if we were to do something magical, the fact that you'd still happily take a ring, like, it goes to show, like, the twisted mind you have.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on the team. You're not on the team. Because clearly you don't know what team means.
Like, I would be impressed if I actually saw him like in a week or two. Because again, he's going through surgery right now. Like, he's probably not able to like really move. But like when he's allowed to like start moving again, if he was on the sidelines, it'd be like, hey man, kudos to you. We booed you off this field and you're at work. You're not able to do your job because you're injured, but like at least you're at work.
I couldn't see him.
And I agree. I don't see him doing that either. But I would be like, you know, hey man, kudos to you.
Yeah, I'd commend him if
you know, it's like
to a certain degree.
I would look at him and be like, maybe that's a small step to a redemption. It's a long journey for a person like you with your history. It's a long journey. That would be a good step forward.
You're going to have to work that one out for a long time.
I'll be honest. We have been really restrained. I'm looking at you, camera. no rehab or massage jokes yet. Until then, like they've been there the whole time. Low-hanging
The
fruit.
memes were so. We had a thrill at that football game.
And
Just,
that comes back to the Chubb injury thing. Because I remember everyone on they were like sending thoughts. He was trending like thoughts and prayers, Nick Chubb. Total opposite online. Total opposite online for Deshaun. We were in the stands laughing at memes while we were getting
they were so
obliterated
funny.
still on the field. We're like getting some laughs.
the best was the massage, the therapist's face when
Oh yeah.
Sean walks
Yeah,
in.
yeah. It's like Randy Orton. He's looking at the Undertaker coming on fire. He's like it's so those jokes have been there the whole time. We refrain. That's
Kudos
growth.
us. That's growth. That's growth. All right, let's start landing this plane. So before we get to our parlay of the week, Doug's got us chugging ice because he lost the parlay. But before we get to it, let's do a quick brief review. The game's already kicked off. We're talking while the game's playing.
All right, before we look at the score, I'm going Vikings 28-20.
Yeah, the Vikings are definitely going to be smoking them, dude. I think 28-20?
28-20 Vikings, yeah.
You're expecting the Chargers to do that well against the Vikings?
Yeah, you got Stafford.
All right.
You know,
that's
you got
your pick. Mine's going to be 13 to I'll go 28.
28's a good score.
28, 13 to 28. I just don't see the Rams scoring that much.
I'm giving it'll be like 28-13 with like 5 minutes left, and then they're gonna get a garbage touchdown.
What score do you predict for this next one? Browns Ravens.
What's the highest score that's never been seen in the NFL? Because that's what it might be.
I think you mean the biggest blowout, dude.
Scorigami.
What is the highest?
And the Ravens
score?
win 87-7, and that's the 1,047th original score. Scorigami. I would retweet that so quick.
Titans Lions. Lions are coming out victorious.
Yeah, Lions.
Big time. Colts Texans.
Wait. Let me write these down.
Colts Texans. I'm going to be expecting a big performance by the Texans, but again, the Colts have showed that they're more of a team to beat.
If Joe Flacco's starting, I might lean Colts just out of respect, but I think Richardson's back. They've been talking about it for like 2 weeks now. I don't think he's played, but like I think it's been like, but I'm still going Texans.
Yeah.
Still going Texans.
You're going the Texans over the Colts?
Yeah.
All right, Packers, Jags. Packers are going to
Packs because Trevor Lawrence didn't get a haircut this week.
Cardinals, Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are going to be back on it. They're getting back on the train against the Cardinals. Cardinals aren't doing that bad either. What were you going to say?
Achan, baby. Let's get him back.
Is there like, what's the theme song from the movie Radio? Like, that would be so funny if they put that over the speaker. And you do just like, they show up a clip. I'm telling you, he sounded like Simple Jack in that interview. I'm going Dolphins.
I don't know. I thought he sounded pretty good. All right, Jets, Patriots. Jets should win this. Patriots are ranked like the lowest team.
And they got
worst team.
Devontae Adams back, the Jets.
They sure as hell better hope they win, because if Aaron Rodgers loses to Drake May and the Patriots, God, Jeopardy, you miss out, man. You miss out hard.
Falcons, Buccaneers. Is that logo because they're going with classic uniforms this weekend?
And that's why I'm going with the Bucks.
Awesome. Yeah, Bucks. This is their. I mean, look at the record. You're seeing two very strong teams going against each other. I think just like the Buccaneers and the Ravens, it's going to be a really good game. But you're definitely going to see
that's
the Bucks come victorious.
That's the battle for the division right there. I mean, like the other two teams are not in it. It's coming down to Baker Mayfield or Kirk Cousins winning the division.
It's going to be a strong shootout.
The NFC has a lot of really strong teams this year. A lot of really strong teams.
It does feel a bit more polarized than past seasons.
Yeah.
Looking at the Eagles and the Bengals, here's what our game against the Eagles showed. The Bengals can win this.
Yeah.
They can win this.
Yeah. Philadelphia, there's something going on there. There's been
Yeah.
something going on there the last 2 years. It's the coach, Sirianni, and he's a Mount Union grad. He's an alum
Guess
there,
what?
but like,
if Saquon has a performance this weekend like he did last, this could be an easy walk for him too.
I'm going Bengals. Simply, Burrow isn't making mistakes. Burrow seems very honed in the last month. Funny enough, it's like Colin Cowherd said. He's like the instant that pumpkin spice latte comes out, he kind of like turns it on.
Here's how I look at
know?
it. I think the Bengals let us be in that game more than we should have. That being said,
Yes.
the Eagles let us be
And
in
funny
that
enough,
game more than they should have.
We have had our number. we've had Burrow's number since he's been in the league. I think he went winless against Baker when Baker was here.
Oh yeah.
So we're just a tough match for them. And then he'll go and play the Chiefs, and like they still might lose, but it'll ball out. Like it'll put up like 40 points. Like
looking at the Saints and the Chargers.
I'm going Chargers, man. I'm going Chargers.
Well,
definitely going Chargers. Derek Carr is not in. Definitely going Chargers.
Interesting.
He's still hurt. Yeah, it's Spencer Rattler.
Well, and that explains why you've seen the Saints have such a quick fall.
Dude, they won 2 games. They were like cream of the crop. They haven't won since.
Yep. Yeah.
Literally, they were like, oh, they're a top team right now. Out of it.
I think I'm with you. I'm going to go with the Chargers too. Bills, Seahawks. This is the Bills to lose. I think the Bills are the stronger team, but the Seahawks have shown they're not a team that you could just walk over.
You know what? I'm going to go with you on this one. I'm going with the Seattle upset.
Really? You think Seattle's going to come up with an upset?
They got the 12th man. Gino's playing good this year. Gino is playing well. Gino's playing well, but Josh and the Bills are obviously playing great. They're playing exactly how everyone expects them to play. But Seattle's lost a couple close ones lately. I think they're going to eke one out. I think they're just going to kind of, outlast them.
Well, Bears, Commanders. Again, the Commanders are a dominating team, but the Bears have showed that they're a pretty strong force too. But this is the Commanders to lose.
Never mind. Going Bears because I think Jane Daniels is out.
We've been opposite a lot of these. I'm going the Commanders. Like I said, I think it's their game to lose. They're the stronger team, but it's not like the Bears can't take it from them. This is a very even match, in my opinion.
You know me. If I never fully know, I revert back to the quarterback argument. It's just who I'm going off of, quarterback.
Panthers, Broncos. I think you're looking at 2 stinkers.
That's a stinky one.
The Broncos are the better team.
Broncos are the better team, though.
Chiefs, Raiders. I think the Chiefs are going to keep that momentum of being undefeated and with ease.
I saw a stat too. They're like plus 47 point differential. I think they're the lowest positive point differential that's been for an undefeated team this far into a season so far. And I'm still going Chiefs. But I thought that was a crazy stat because it feels like they're not playing up to their usual standard, and they're 7-0. So it's like dang. And hell, they got Doug's new best friend on his fantasy team, DeAndre Hopkins, this week.
I need him to do some.
Maybe he'll have a week like Amari did last week, not know the route and still score a tutty.
So for the final game of the Sunday evening, Cowboys 49ers. I think this is the chance for the 49ers to get that momentum they lost back. The Cowboys,
it's a weird year in San Francisco.
It is.
Yeah.
Mined by injuries, and verdict's still not out on Purdy. Some weeks it looks like he could do it without him. Sometimes he doesn't. I'm gonna go with Seattle because Dallas. Something's up with Dallas too.
You San Francisco.
I'm going San Francisco.
Yeah, okay.
But something's up with Dallas.
Yeah,
also,
they're running with rocks in their shoes. It feels like
they're like they could score 40 points or 10.
Yeah,
I don't know. And true.
All right, Monday Night Football, Giants and Steelers. Man, if this is the Steelers game with ease.
This is a Steelers game, and funny enough, that move from Justin Fields to Russell Wilson looks genius. He had a slow start to the game, and then the second half, he looked like how he did in Denver last year. Very efficient, no stupid mistakes, completely taking control of the game. He kind of looked like a little bit of vintage Russ, and honestly, good for him. I have nothing against Russ. I'm rooting for him. He got picked on for a bit there because he says some corny shit like Jameis, but he seems like such a good Pittsburgh fit. It's worrisome.
Yeah,
it looks like he can revitalize his career for the last 3-4 years of it at Pittsburgh and be competitive.
They're franchise builders, baby. They'll lock you in.
Stability. There's always stability there. It's
again the locker room.
They're immediately you're 2 months into the season. You're well, they're not going under 500. Once again, Tomlin escaped that.
All right, let's get to our parlay. Last week we were not very successful. Doug, you could do the other camera.
Wait, there's really only one Monday night game this week?
Yep. That's why.
Why do they do that? Why do they go
randomly?
One? Yeah, last week there were 2. I didn't give a shit about the other one.
But that's what was funny. The one week we didn't have one, you guys got all high and tight with me, and I was like, well, okay. What? And then the next week I'm like, see, I told you I wasn't fucking crazy.
But what's dictating that? Who in the league is just this
I guarantee.
Week too?
I bet what's dictating it is broadcasting contracts.
Oh, that's a good call. I didn't consider that.
That follow the money. So Doug's preparing himself because while he does that, Woo! It worked. I shouldn't have done it all over my soundboard. But I'm celebrating because I'm the only one that's undefeated. If you're looking to build a parlay for the NFL this weekend, follow me. I haven't missed once.
Dude, you should do another one of those next week if yours hits.
Oh yeah, I got it. I got another one right there. So if you're looking, which one's mine? Derrick Henry has reliably hit his yardage props every week with ease. However, like I said, poor Doug, he had reliability with Purdy the week before, but shouldn't have doubled down because he left him astray. Now, the unfortunate reality to this, because we want to win for you folks. We're doing this for you guys. We're putting together parlays, and we need to be reliable. So while I get to celebrate, unfortunately, the punishment when your parlay doesn't hit, you got to go. Oh, no, now I got confetti in my Christmas hail. But if it doesn't hit, you got to do the Smirnoff Ice. Doug, click over to yourself.
Just to do it here?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, the camera's on this.
I got you.
Ah.
Do like a fisheye lens.
Doggy.
Attaboy. Attaboy.
With ease.
Man, you said you couldn't do it. You said you weren't built for it.
Take a breath.
Oh, yeah, it's a little carbonated.
We're going to be doing.
Dude, we should have done Sprite. You have to chug a Sprite.
Oh, that would have been hell.
Yeah.
Like, at least there's a payoff.
Oh, every week, one touchdown. One touchdown.
Yeah, Dougie! All right, see, we're troopers here. There's things at stake. We're trying to win for you guys.
We like to have fun here.
We like to have
That was
fun.
my first ice, I think, since college. And you know what? Doesn't taste as bad as I thought. I don't know if you
No, they're
want
really
a
not
different
bad.
flavor or something, but they
Really
actually
not
taste
bad.
better than
No,
I thought.
dude, what makes it bad is like the second or third one. The problem is it's just too much sugar.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
tasted like a really sugary Sprite.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And an ice cold one. Ugh,
Yeah, it was slightly cold, which was perfect.
Right. All right. So this week we got lined up a winner. This one's for sure slapping. So we're starting off
My boy.
confidence breaker, going with Baker, 2+ touchdowns.
Two tutties. I
He
want
did
two
it last
tutties.
week with ease. What's
Think-
funny is I thought for sure you weren't hitting.
Same here.
By half, it wasn't even close.
I didn't
He
think
only
I'd
had
be
one, I
alone.
think. Or no, there was one touchdown, but they didn't have the two, right?
He had
Yeah,
one
yeah.
touchdown and 2 picks at half, and then I was like, "Well, they're throwing in the second half, so let's see what he's going to start doing." And
Bob-
like first drive, second half touchdown, I was like,
Well, and same with
My
Derrick
guy.
Henry, man. Third quarter, he didn't have it, and then he had an 80-yard run. and
Right.
that
"Oh yeah,
covered-
yeah, yeah."
Yeah,
Oh,
it
the
might
instant
be
he
good.
busted that one off, I was like, instant he did that because Purdy had already played. I was like, "Well, I guess Doug's doing it nice."
Well, and I've been talking this big game about Derrick Henry. Doug made me step it up a little bit more. So to make our pot a little heavier, so we could put more down next week.
What were the odds on his yardage? You know what it
80
was?
80 was like minus
Probably like
200.
Oh, really? Is that-
90 was minus 110, and then 100 was plus 100. So
That's
I'm-
it?
yeah. So
Oh
I'm
my
actually
God.
gambling this week, and I'm going for 100 yards. I think that's with ease. Doug,
I just
though,
can't believe it was that low. I thought you were gonna be like, "Oh, it's like plus 220." I'd have been like, "Oh, okay, yeah, plus 100." That's how little Vegas is. Like, oh, Cleveland
yeah, they're smoking us.
walking
Walking
through.
He's
them.
walking to the end, and Doug's riding the same coattail. He's going with a Derrick Henry touchdown. He's pivoting. He's pivoting.
Dude, a week ago, Doug, you were adamant to only do 1 touchdown passes. Now you're like, I want 100
And
yards.
it was all passing props.
You were like, I want 100 yards, and I want a touchdown.
Well, because one Brock Purdy touchdown was like minus 900, which we obviously weren't going to take. But then it's like, all right, fine, I'll do the 2 because, Vegas, blah, blah, blah. He ended up getting no touchdowns that game. So it's just all shit. It's all
It's just all shit.
But the ice wasn't that bad. So, guys, we appreciate you joining us. We go live every Sunday, except this Sunday because it's a Thursday.
Also, in Cleveland, Great Lakes Christmas sale.
They're out at
They're
the end
out.
of October. As always, cheers.
Tis the season.
'Tis the season. Here, Doug, click us over here. So we go live every Sunday except this Sunday, but we also do a reaction show. So be sure to come back here this Sunday because the reaction show will be there. It won't be live, but we pre-recorded a lot of fun Halloween scares, so it'll be a good time. Come back to have a cup of coffee, take a break, and have some laughs. Otherwise, Doug and I we have a whole crew where we do a live show on Tuesdays on the Rethink Tank channel, so you can always jump over there and check us out for our live show. But we also have the podcast that comes out on Wednesdays. So here's where I'm at and all these other programs. If you're looking for one central place where you can find everything, it's at our website at www.rethinktankpodcast.com. If we made you laugh, if we made you think, the best you could just do to support this show is share the link. Make sure you hit that like button and dangle the notification bell so you don't miss us, and subscribe so you can hang around and be a friend. But otherwise, guys, we'll catch you on the next week. Peace.